So Jacqueline is like literally ripping her skin off, right? A force shedding, if you will, right? Do you look different now, do you think?
I was thinking about that all of last night because thinking about what happened in the main story arc.
I mean, because it could be interesting if you like showed up at Falls and like you're different, you look different, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I like the idea of being different. I just haven't put my finger on like how that's different though.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely open to suggestion.
I think it can be subtle too, right? Like, I mean, I think like when a snake sheds its skin, it doesn't look completely different afterwards, right? And there's a moment where it's still kind of like a little soft, its scales haven't hardened or whatever, right? So yeah, I think we should play with that idea. I think that'd be fun. It could just be that you're different, like in a personality way too. Like, it may not even be a physical difference, but I do feel like obviously Darkest Self is going to push you to a certain direction, but I think it'd be fun to explore the idea of Addie possibly looking different, but just, you know, something about her having fundamentally changed because of this thing that happened to her. So
easy.
Yeah. What is your Darkest Self incidentally? Let's read it.
Yeah, so it says the human and serpent worlds are too different, and you'll never be able to reconcile the demands. The only way out is to choose a side as decisively and irrevocably as possible. Watch carefully and quietly for an opportunity, and then strike regardless of who needs to be hobbled or devoured in the process. It's the only way to make the world simple again and find your place at last. You escape your darkest self when you accept your complicated place in the world or when you bolt.
Nice. Okay. Reveal and play how you're going to choosing a side and going hard on one side sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Good. Any other thoughts from anybody else before we begin?
May I add a couple of thoughts about Julia, because I also had to think all night long about her. I think I played her quite, on volume 11, quite monstrous. First session, she was more human, as bad as she was. And I would like to turn the volume a little bit down again.
Mm-hmm.
Like also play the hesitant part inside of her, like beside all what she has experienced now and seen, it's two souls struggling in one chest.
I think that's
somehow.
good. I think that's good. So, and I think it reflects the sort of vicissitudes of like teenage emotion, right? And also, probably nothing has actually changed. This is all the same day, right? So just because you're being nice for a few hours doesn't mean you're not still fundamentally Jacqueline's, you know, little monster, right? So, I mean, so yeah. But in terms of this session, though, yeah, I hear you. Like, yeah, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable goal. I want to position everybody in time and space first. Well, we know where Julia and Addie are both where they're at and what's going on, so that's good. Adam, you were going to the party. I'm not sure if you've arrived yet. We'll see. I might let you frame up your scene, or I'll think about it. I'm going to start with Shay and Fall, then. I think, like, eventually you guys wrap up, and, you know, the shower clicks off. And something about, like, whenever, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but whenever you're in the shower and, like, it's going, going, and then you turn it off, like, that moment when you turn it off, the world feels particularly quiet, right? Like it feels like there's this like sudden quietude, and that's just our brains like sort of adjusting to like to ambient noise, right? But because of that sort of like heightened sense of quietude, you are able to hear the chunk chunk of someone clearly unlocking the door at the front of the house. Shay's like, oh my God, your mom is home. What are we going to do?
We like don't even bother drying off. We just start putting our clothes on still wet.
Give me a keep your cool. What are you scared of is going to happen here?
Yeah, I think we're both afraid that my parents, both of them will walk in on us showering together or yeah. You know, the implications.
Yeah, no, that's good. Go ahead and roll cold.
Cold +1. Ooh, 10.
You do manage to keep it together. Shay like kind of I think Shay slips out first, and he's like, I'm gonna go to your room, right? And then he like, you know, kind of bolts to your room. Like you guys were never in the bathroom together. And then I guess you come out at that point, or what do you do?
Yeah, I throw on some jeans and like a shirt, and like my hair's still wet, and we get like the shot of my bare feet that are probably like a little too hairy because I'm a Sasquatch. Like walking on the wooden floors going towards the living room, and I probably even call out like, Mom, Dad.
You hear a noise in the kitchen. You can't see who it is, but there's definitely like rattling around in the kitchen, things being moved, a drawer being opened and closed. You call out and there's no response. What do you do?
Weird. I don't think that's probably ever happened. So maybe as I go down, I try to be as quiet as possible and grab like a poker from the fireplace as I make my way down or something.
Yeah, nice. Good. I'm going to give you the benefit of your roll here. I'm not going to make you roll again for keep your cool, but you're like slowly coming around the corner, and whoever it is, they've gone into the pantry because you can see the pantry light on. The door is slightly ajar, and you can hear things being moved around, right? What do you do?
I just inch closer with like the drops of water hitting on the wooden floor as I go to like, yeah, I'm probably doing the teenager thing where I think I'm being like ninja quiet, but it's just like a normal, especially in jeans, right? Like you can't be silent in jeans.
And I guess your plan is just to like go really close and swing the door open.
Yeah, and then like be ready with the poker or whatever, right?
Yeah. So you're doing your thing, squish, squish your wet feet on the floor, right? Trying to be quiet. And you get right there at the pantry door and you grab it and you fling it open and your mom jumps and she's like, Jesus, Fall, you trying to scare me half to death or what? She's got like a transistor radio and like little earphones on, right? Which she does sometimes. She listens to books on tape, right? She's got a little tape thing. And she's like, Hun, what's going on? Why do you have the fireplace poker?
You weren't answering me, and earlier Shay and I went for a run and I dropped my keys, and it's crazy, but I was thinking like maybe somebody else was in the house or something.
You dropped your keys, hun. Why would you, did you go back out and get them?
Well, no, that sounded scary.
Fall, and she comes and she like hugs you. She's like, you're just a mess. I mean, you're just a mess. I mean, I get it. This is Fall. This thing is bad. Whatever's going on, it's really, really bad.
Yeah, well, Robbie is dead. What could be worse?
She's like, not just Robbie.
Who else died? Heather?
Oh no, I don't know anything about Heather, but no, Coach DeVry's daughter.
Oh, do we know her? Like
She's a younger student. She's like a freshman.
At the same high school or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. What happened to her?
Same thing. They found her body. They found her body carved with a spiral.
Is like the sheriff's department gonna ask you guys to be like law enforcement again or something? Or
well, Sheriff Nichols has got different ideas about how we should proceed with this, but he seems to think that we should just kind of go back to our routine, go back to our business, and just try to be vigilant and keep our eyes open and let them do their work. I mean, he thinks it's too much to, he doesn't want us rounding up a posse or anything, to try to smoke this guy out. I'm just glad we live out here in the woods, remote, real remote, away from all that, from the crazy city.
Yeah, me too. Jeez, you really startled me. My heart's still jumping out of my chest. Well,
and I think she hears like Shay in your bedroom, and she's like, oh, is Shay still here?
Yeah. Shay and I went for a run. We came back. And we showered off, and then you came in and scared the bejeebus out of us.
She's like, all right, we'll go get cleaned up, and I'll make you guys some dinner. And she goes to the kitchen to make dinner.
Yeah, and I go back upstairs and grab a towel and start actually drying off, and I start laughing, and I'm like, Shay, you'll never believe what just happened.
Right, good. Adam, would you like to frame your scene, or like maybe like on the way, or do you want to just go straight to the party?
Sure. something could happen on the way. Yeah, I'm walking along the now dark streets of Mercy Falls. Yeah, on the back end of my high, I talked to the most terrible parents I ever met, and yeah, my clothes is still somewhat dirty from hiding in the woods from this murderer. That's a bad day, and I'm kind of worried about, showing up to the party.
And still not going home. I find that super interesting that you haven't actually gone home yet.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to get home.
Yeah.
As frightening as this day is, at least it is something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll probably run into, let's say Debbie. And I think Debbie is like also like you're getting close to like Chad's neighborhood. Chad lives on a street with like really rich people, right? And I think you guys are kind of like walking in that neighborhood. And you see Debbie there. I'm imagining Debbie looks like Barb from Stranger Things, right? I think it's that kind of situation, right?
Okay.
Like a little frumpy, like great big Sally Jesse Raphael glasses, right? That kind of thing. And she sees you and she's like, "Oh, hey, Adam, are you going to Chad's party?"
Yeah, Abby asked me to come with her at detention.
Oh, so you guys are supposed to go together. Where is she?
Yeah, that's the problem. There was a lot of crazy stuff happening. Like someone died at school. Have you heard about it already?
I've been hearing about that. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I guess the sheriff called some kind of meeting of some people in town. Like my parents couldn't go, but yeah, I've been hearing all kinds of weird stuff.
It's Robbie from the sports team. He's just gone. Like
Robbie, are you serious?
Yeah, he was in the bathroom with all this paintings of spirals and shit like that. And
I'm really surprised by that. He was such a big guy, I mean, he was at least Constitution 17. I can't believe that he would get overpowered so easily by someone. I mean, that's so strange. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's been the weirdest day. Like, Julia cut her hair in school.
Today? Like at detention?
Like the coach just vanished. Everybody was like walking around in school, and when Julia came back, she had like this super short hair. She has this whole hair thing going on. Like, I went to her house. Like she seemed to be good friends with Evie, and I wanted to, maybe ask her like, hey, what can I do to kind of impress Evie? And then her parents are those psychos talking about experiments, and her room is like a murder shrine. Like there are
not surprising. Julia she is bad news. I have known that for a while. I've been saying to all my friends who listen, she is lawful evil to the bone. And all I know is that she's trouble. I'm glad someone else is starting to see it. I'm glad maybe she's the one who hurt Robbie.
She cut her hair and went on a rampage?
I don't know. I mean, it's certainly strange behavior, and she starts acting strangely on the same day that someone is killed, in the same place where someone is killed.
Yeah,
like two and two together.
And it's. Let me think, and I try. Like I'm walking down the street like a bit manic and trying to remember really hard if there were spirals in Julia's room.
And maybe you're like walking ahead a little bit as you think, and she kind of calls to you. She's like, "Doesn't take a +3 intelligence modifier to sort this one out. I think she's bad business. I think the cops should be looking at her."
Yeah, but should I call the cops and tell them like, "Hey, her room is a murder shrine"?
And I think she's like, and she kind of catches up with you, right? And she's like, you do whatever you want. I mean, I'm just glad you're here. I didn't know. I got dropped off at the end of the street, and I wasn't really sure where Chad's house is. And well, I feel safer with you here, even though you look. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you look really, really stressed out right now.
Yeah, What? Hey, you think I can show up to a party like this?
Honestly, I'm surprised that we even got invitations. I mean,
Yeah, that's our chance to get a foot in. So, man,
get a foot in. Like, do you want to? Why? You do not need to impress Chad, Adam. There is nothing there. Trust me.
Yeah. Hey, no, that there is something like those guys. If they just think we're cool, we haven't made like they.
What? No. Like, sure, they have all the power right now in high school, but no one's going to give a shit about them after we graduate. If they're not going to go to good schools, they're going to just be here being losers in Mercy Falls for the rest of their lives. Like, people like you and me, we have like really big things to look forward to.
Okay, yeah, but it's still 2 more years. I know it's partly my fault that they don't like me. Like, if they think I'm a girl at first, that's a bad impression, and so that always sticks in their mind. And now I can do whatever I want, and they won't respect me. But if they invite me, that's a good sign.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, they didn't even invite you, right? Addie invited you.
Yeah. So do you think we just roll up all casual, or?
And then you guys are there. You're at the front gate of this like house, right? They have like a little like fenced tract of land there. It's a really nice house, right? Like a really big like ranch style home, but like on 2 stories and really, really wide. Lots of glass, so like it's like really illuminated, right? So you can kind of see it all like on the hill. And you can see there are a few kids around. It's actually not as busy as you might have expected, probably because parents aren't letting their kids go, right? Because of stuff that's been going on today. But nevertheless, like, you see all this stuff, and as you guys like walk up to the gate, she says, "Hey, who's that guy?" And she's looking off in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm looking in that direction.
And you see the muscular dude with the tattoos and the stag skull mask about a good 60 or 70 paces away. Too close for comfort.
Fuck that.
She's like, and she calls out, she's like, "Hey, loser, Halloween's already over."
Hey, Debbie, that guy was sneaking around school. When Robbie get murdered, like, don't provoke me. Provoke him.
She's like, "Wait, what? I thought Julia did the murders. Wait, what are you telling me?" Oh. And then she like hits the buzzer, like on the little gate, you know, like to let you guys in. And no one's answering. What do you do?
Is there anybody else around? Like,
no, they're you can see them in the house, but no one's like out in the yard. Or like,
yep, I go to the window and I knock.
Yeah, you have to jump the fence. You want to jump the fence?
Yep.
Give me a runaway. I think that's runaway because you're trying to get away from the situation.
Yep, that's a 13.
Nice. I'll let you get Debbie to safety too. Just give me the whole scene. What happens?
Yeah, so we are at Chet's place, knocking on the windows, hoping we get in before the killer sees us or does anything.
You see him like step into the street light, the street lamps shining down on him, and he's like directly across from you now. Like, you can see him through the gate. He turns. He's just like staring at you guys for a second, and then he turns away and walks away from the party. All right. So now we have our situation at the Egyptian Palace Hotel. Jacqueline has dug her fingernails into Addie's scalp and is like ripping the scalp down, right? And it's making this like squishy tearing sound as she just like pulls. And to your surprise, Julia, there's not skull underneath, right? There's blood, but it's just like more face, right? And she rips it and pulls it down until like her collarbone. Then she drops it, just leaving this like bloody flap of flesh hanging from Addie's collarbone, right there on the ground. And she gets up and she's like, oh, look at my nails. Jesus Christ. I'm old, Julia. That's all I got the energy for. That might be enough, though. Stay with her for a while. She might come out of it. She might not. If she doesn't snap out of it in the next 20 or 30 minutes, come find me. I'll be down at the bar serving my favorite customer. And she goes away.
I run away.
Roll volatile.
As fast as I can. Oh, that's a 10.
Nice. You get away. Where do you go? Where's your safe place? Where do you go to?
You won't believe me after what you learned yesterday, but that's my home. That's with my parents.
Indeed, indeed.
I also need to find something new to wear. It's getting cold in the evening. I'm not dressed properly yet. Maybe I have some blood stains, some other liquids, which I don't even know what they are. It's time to change.
I think it's a good idea. I'm going to cut back over to Addie. Addie, I think we see, like in medical dramas, we sometimes see scenes where the person on the slab or whatever, who's maybe they're going in and out of surgery or something like that, or they've been injured and they're going in and out of consciousness. We see like little flashes of the doctors and whatnot, like working on them and doing their thing, right? And we just see that. That's what you experience. You just experience like these flashes of lucidity, right? That go in and out for a little bit. And we flash and we see Aunt Eleanor standing over you, like singing some sort of ululating song, from her throat, some sort of like mystic serpentine song, dancing about and swirling about, right? As if to like resurrect you or something, right? There's another flash and we see Uncle Nicholas and he's like, well, I've been working on a particular decoction that I think might be helpful here, Jackie. Let me see. And he's kind of doing whatever he's doing, and that flashes and goes away. And then we see a flash with Jacqueline sitting on the edge of the bed, smoking her cigarette, drinking her bourbon, looking down at you. And she's like, you're going to have to snap out of it, sugar, because if you don't, I'm going to have a hell of a time explaining to the authorities what happened to my daughter. She takes another drag on her cigarette. And then there's a flash. You're like in a dark space, not your room at all, with just a few candles lit. And we see your Aunt Genevieve hovering over you, pretty in her way, short, mousy brown hair. And we just see her in the darkness or in the ambient light of the candles. We just see her upper body, but we see her slowly like rise up to reveal like her lower half, which is Snake. She has like a dagger in her hand, a ceremonial dagger. She's getting ready to do something. We don't know what. And then you wake up in your bed. A couple of hours have passed. What do you do?
I think she comes to with a gasp, puts her hand to her head, and sort of like feels herself and like feels her arm where she got hurt, and she can't quite see where she was stabbed, but she knows it happened. Like that is a very vivid thing in her memory. Sort of notices that her skin was really sensitive and soft and like dewy and weird. She'll get up, dress herself if she's not clothed, and then I think quietly take her leave from this place.
Yeah. Do you want to run into anyone on the way out, or do you just want to leave?
I'm fine with her just leaving. Yeah, she'd like to just distance herself from her family.
Right?
Yeah, but I'm fine if she does bump into someone.
I think you probably actually, like, as you're leaving, because you always have to go out through the bar, right? I think as you're leaving, you see your mom literally passed out at the bar with her head down and her cigarette perched on the ashtray, right? And you could just leave.
I think on the way out, though, she will maybe like walk over to her mother and like stare down at her with this cutting scowl and say like, I hate you. You made me this way and I hate you. And then we'll walk out.
Where are you going to go? Should I find out where you're going?
She can't go to, I think she's running through who she can go to because she doesn't want to be alone, but she can't be with her family. She can't be with Julia. And that kind of just leaves, and like Robbie's dead.
Right.
Heather's gone. He's the only other person she really knows in this place. And so I think she's going to, just try and find someone she knows. I don't know. She's just a witch. Fall probably.
Okay, yeah. Head towards Falls. That seems like a natural place to go, I think.
And Falls' mum is so nice, and I hate my own mum. So
Right,
maybe.
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to go meet Julia's parents. So, okay, good. I'm going to cut back briefly to Julia. I think your parents are waiting for you in the living room when you walk in. And they look at you in a curious way. And they look at each other. And they do that thing where they are clearly sharing some kind of like information, some kind of like secret information that they convey to one another with just like a raised eyebrow and like a smirk, right? And they turn back to you and they say, well, it looks like you've had a very interesting day, dear.
Try what I always try. I try not to talk with them because whatever they say to me, it means something to me, even if I don't want that. So I try to rush through and ignoring them and not looking at them. I know they want to tell me something and I will not like it.
Vinny says, your friend Adam came by today.
Too late.
He was here. Your mom says, is he your boyfriend, Julia? Are you thinking about getting serious with this boy?
What you have to do, and I have what I have to do, and we keep that separated, right?
Speaking of what you have to do, that boy went into your bedroom a little nonplussed by what he found there.
Why did you let him in?
I wanted to see what would happen. It was an intellectual inquiry, if you will.
Where is he now?
Who knows? He ran out of here in a hurry, your dad says. Your father tried to engage your friend in some of our newest research. He didn't seem too keen on it.
Know that I don't like your research. This is none of my business, as my things are not your business. That was the deal. That's our agreement. That is the deal. The deal.
Yes. Someday you will spread your wings, so to speak, and you'll make your own way in the world, and you'll never have to think about us again. That's the way these sorts of things go. But regrettably, we have what is, frankly, an ancient mandate to make sure that you get the best push out of the nest you can get. We want you to take flight in that first moment. And so it does require us to make regular inquiry into what you're up to, dear.
So are you asking yourself why I'm all over blood? Like, this is not red color. I didn't have art course today.
It did occur to me, yes. Your hair also is...
It's gone, yes.
A very, very curious style. And your father steps forward to you and says, and so we'll put the question to you again. What kind of day have you had, dear? Anything you want to tell us?
Don't make me tell you.
I think I'm going to keep you cool. What are you afraid is going to happen with your parents right now?
Usually when they demand something from me, I have to obey. This is how our house works. It's a lot of stress for me to avoid telling them what to hear. That's a 5 only.
They do that thing where they flank you. They're very good at like flanking and positioning to where like, even if you want to turn and you want to go cut one way or the other, they're very good at like cutting off your avenues of escape. They work in tandem in that way, like a pair of velociraptors, right? And this is not unusual because they've probably been together since they were born. And they corner you and they press against you and push you back up against a wall to where you must listen to what they say. And they say, we are currently engaged in a fascinating experiment, Julia. Yes, a fascinating experiment. And we could certainly use your help seeing it to its conclusion. Hi, listeners. This is Jason. If you are enjoying Mercy Falls 83, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. There are a lot of costs associated with producing Pocket Size Play, from editing, hosting fees, music licenses, and more. Your Patreon pledge helps pay for all of that stuff and indeed encourages us to create more Pocket Size Play. As a bonus, if you pledge $2 or more, you also get early access to Pocket Size Play episodes, which is pretty cool. So go to patreon.com/gauntlet and support the show today. Thanks.